is Cha Girl Lillian, and welcome to our creative writing course for the Creation District. I'm coming at you guys live. I guess not really. It's live for me currently from a park by my house. It is quite nice out here. It's a lovely afternoon. This would be a great place to do Grace's sunshine yoga, huh? Am I right? Anyways, I'm going to be leading a little course on creative writing for you songwriters out there, or just for anybody who wants to have some more focus and ideas for their writing. Oh, it's baby Nathan! I know a lot of people in this town. That was a baby riding by on a bicycle. Well, with his father as well. Anyways, I'm going to be using this song, Writing Better Lyrics, by Pat Pattison. If any of you guys want to Google this and get it or follow along if you have it, I've read sections of this book that have been super helpful, so I'm going to be using it kind of as a template in talking about what I'm going to be talking about today, because I am not a professional, well, I guess I'm a professional songwriter in that I'm a musician and people pay me to do it. But I'm not like a pro or anything. I kind of just learned songwriting by doing it. I've been writing songs for as long as I can remember. A good thing to keep in mind is that you have to write a lot of really shitty songs before you write some good songs. So if you are cranking out shitty songs right now, good for you. That means that you are getting rid of all of that gunk, and eventually you're going to be writing better stuff. And if you're writing good stuff right now, it's probably because you've written some shitty stuff in the past. So, anyways. Yeah. So, the first thing I want to talk about is there is only one you. You're truly the only person that has experienced all the things that you have experienced. And throughout your life, you have been storing all of these senses inside of you. And most of the time, the senses that we experience, and by sense, I mean what you touch, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste. There's always another one, but I forget it. That kind of senses. A lot of times we get those senses and we let them sink to the bottom of ourselves. Imagine them at like the bottom of the ocean. And it is our job as writers to put on our diving flippers and dive to the bottom and find those beautiful glowing pearls of senses and memories to help translate that to someone else who is going to be reading it. So yeah, songwriting is truly one of those things where the more you know yourself, the better it is. So this is kind of a practice of knowing ourselves better, knowing our past better, and being able to move into the future looking out for the things that are going to make cool songs. When you start looking at the world through a songwriter's perspective, it is so fun. So that's also one of the goals of our class. So yeah, you are the only person who can write what you're about to write. Now, there are a lot of like technical songwriting things to think about, like rhythm and rhyme and contrast and repetition and all that stuff. But we're going to be focusing on the more abstract ideas today. So I want you guys to take in the room around you, and let's take a couple seconds here to describe where you are right now. I'm going to be doing this along with you guys, by the way. All right, you may have noticed I closed my eyes. And I closed my eyes because typically when we are feeling out a room or when we're describing what's in front of us, we will use our visual cues. And I noticed as soon as I started doing this little practice that I was like, okay, grass is green, there are houses over there, people on bicycles, and I was only focusing on this one sense. And we got to dive past that one sense in order to get to really be able to describe in great depth what our imagination would like to say. So we're going to do this again, but we're going to make our way down through each of the senses and use those to describe the room. So first, let's describe our room using touch. So feel around. What are you feeling? For me, I have this kind of grainy, coarse texture of my backpack. This smoothness of my sweatshirt. The heavy feel of my water bottle. It's kind of slick outside. What are you guys feeling? All right, next let's think about smell. What are we picking up? Where I am, it smells really fresh and rather wonderful. It smells like springtime out here. I can smell some cut grass, leaves. Yeah. All right, next one, taste. Now, this one, you might actually be tasting something. See, I have my water here. Davis tap water. So I'm getting some kind of like a sweet minerally taste. If you guys are eating something, you can describe that. If not, you guys can get creative. What would it taste like if I licked this ukulele case? What is that? What do you think that tastes like? What does that taste like? It doesn't actually have to be in your mouth for you to be describing this taste. You can go with whatever you want. All right, then number 4. Look, what are we seeing around us? Notice not just objects, but different shades. What are the colors that are coming at us? I see some dark trees. I see some bright grass. I see lots of shapes. Note where you see triangles. Note where you see squares. Kind of look at the world geometrically. See a lot of fractals in the trees. All right, now we're gonna think about what we're hearing. Let's go quiet for like 30 seconds, and just I want you to see how many different sound sources you can identify, and then I'll share what I heard. Well, over here I heard some leaf blower off in the distance. I hear someone whistling over there. I hear some guy in his yard doing yard work and singing. I hear the birdies, lots of different layers of birds, and I hear the low hum of the freeway in the background. So we have this huge pot of senses that we can be diving into at any moment. It is so fun. All right. So the more senses that you guys incorporate into your writing, the more realistic it's going to be, and the easier it is for the readers to position themselves in your shoes and what you're trying to say. All right. And at least for me, I know that when I get into a good book and I really enjoy reading, I enjoy it because I feel like I'm there. Like I am the protagonist. I am the main character in that book. So that's what you're trying to get. You're trying to make your whatever you're doing seem as authentic and realistic as possible, and that really invites people to come in enjoying what you're doing. So we have our first assignment today. Or not assignment so much as exercise. And for this exercise, it's called object writing. And this is an exercise that I used to do every morning for a long time, but I realized I haven't done it in a while, and I'm gonna do it with y'all. But object writing is where you pick an object at random. It can be any object, and you start writing about it, and you start diving into your senses and using that object as a springboard into all of your sense memories and associations surrounding that object. And you do not have to stay focused on the object the whole time. You can bounce around from a different memory to object to whatever. You don't have to worry about rhyme or repetition or anything. As long as it's sense bound, then I want you to write it. So I'm going to read an example out of this book that they have to get you guys kind of an idea of what this is going to look like. All right, and coming close here. This one is called Back Porch, and this is just the exercise that that our author wrote for us. All right, so Back Porch. I must have been 4. Memories from that time are a rare species, lobbying in like huge bumblebees on transparent wings. Buzzing old Remington shavers torn free from those thick and brittle wires tangled in webs under our porch where I loved to crawl and hide. Black snaking wires disappearing up through floors and humming into wall and socket. I still hear them. I hid under the back porch, smell of damp summer earth cool under my hands, ducking, scrunching my shoulders tight to avoid the rusty nails waiting patiently above for my back or school to forget them. The tingling along my back and neck kept reminding me, don't stand up. Under the back porch, a place tinged with danger and smelling of earth, the air tastes faintly of mold and hollyhocks twining around the trellises that I see only the bottoms of, speckled gold by the shafts of sun slipping through high elm branches in the backyard, weaving shadows like Grandma's lace dresser doilies. When I squint, I can blur the sunlight into a bridge of green gold. Crouching there, fetal and content, I could feel Mom above me, could hear her high heels tapping. Yes. All right, so in this example, our author has used sight, right? He talks about the huge bumblebees on transparent wings, thick and brittle wires tangled in webs, black snaking wires disappearing up through the floors, rusty nails, hollyhocks twining around the trellises. We have hearing, we say buzzing, old Remington shavers, humming into wall socket. I could hear the high heels tapping. And we have smell, the smell of damp summer earth, smelling of earth. Taste, we have the air taste faintly of mold and hollyhocks. And we have touch, thick and brittle wires, damp summer earth cool under my hands, tingling along my back and neck. And then we have 2 other senses that we haven't talked about yet. These aren't like your typical senses, but they are part of songwriter senses. So the first songwriter sense is organic. And this is your awareness of your bodily functions. So how we feel inside, your heartbeat, if you're sick to your stomach, your muscle tensions, if you have a stomach ache, the up and down of your breath. All these organic senses are what's happening inside. And as opposed to organic is our second songwriter sense, which is kinesthetic. And that is your relationship to the outside world. So this can be like when you get lightheaded and the world's kind of spinning around you, or when you spin around in circles. I highly recommend, if you can, to get up right now and spin around in circles. And you get dizzy and then you stop and then the world keeps going around you. So like divers and dancers have a really good sense of this because they're always kind of thinking about how their body relates to the air and the water that they're moving in. All right, so we're going to now do this exercise, and I want you guys to use one of every sense. So we have, write them down if you can. Touch. We have sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, organic, and kinesthetic. All right, let's work for about 5 minutes here, and then I'm gonna share what I wrote, and maybe you can share what you wrote with someone else. So get out your piece of paper and pen. Pick an object. I'm gonna be working here with you guys. And let's go. This is very close to me. Too much. Okay. All right. I think that was 5 minutes. I hope you guys have written something. Open up my computer. I hope y'all have written something. I have. I don't think it's very good. And I think that's why I should definitely share it with you guys. Because we can't be scared of sharing stuff, even if it's not perfect, because that enables other people to not be perfect as well. So, if I can read my own handwriting, I will read you guys what I just wrote. And my item was this sweatshirt. Ta-da! Okay. It says, that sweatshirt, purple and green neon pizza, lights up my chest like a neon sign at the drive-in, where salty fries leave my greasy lips begging for more. No, I never met a French fry that didn't introduce me to the next. Hello, nice to meet you, I hear them say, but their hands, empty as ghosts, say otherwise. I can hear it in your voice when you mean it. When you mean it, I'll believe it. I'll make believe that we can sing and dance together. The smell of you, I only get when we're close, of Axe deodorant and leafy gutters, that only the tallest ladders can reach. They extend on their tippy toes so you can climb up them and check off your bucket list, your to-do list. Buckets of sand hold cool sand at the beach, shaped slobbery sand castles that crumbled like feta cheese in the salad that we had for dinner. The salty cool breeze tickled my neck as a setting sun pulled in the line of clouds, moisture, and wait for it, thunder. So that is what I have. When I was writing, I was trying to think about like actual like senses that I was using, but I don't know if I actually used them. So now we're going to go through what we wrote and we're going to actually make a note of how many times. So what I'm going to do is actually write down sight first, and you should be doing this too. Write down sight. On the next line, write down hearing. On the next line, write down smell. On the next line, write down taste. On the next line, write down touch. On the next line, organic, right? So that's the stuff that you feel inside your body. Your breathing, your muscles cramping, your legs sore, you have a headache. Those are all like bad things inside you. Feeling relaxed, organic, and then kinesthetic, right? Which is how you relate to the outside world. So it can be you crouching, you spinning, you dizzy, you rolling around, all that stuff. And read through what you have, and every time you have a sense in there, write a little right next to the sense. So, just for example, my first one, that sweatshirt, purple and green neon pizza, lights up my chest like a neon sign at the drive-in. That would be sight. So I put a little check next to sight, as you can see. What's that? Sight. All right, we're gonna go through. We're gonna be checking off. All right. So I just did mine. Hopefully, you've done yours already too. And I got 1 sight, 3 hearings, 1 smell, 1 taste, 5 touch, 1 organic, and 2 kinesthetic. So that tells me that for my next writing exercise, I could spend more time focusing on smell and taste and even less on touch. But that means that touch is my strong point, and that's great. But I gotta, try to balance the playing field. So we speak. So this is a great exercise to do in the morning and first thing in the morning. Because what this exercise does is it engages your senses and it makes you think about these all the time throughout your day. And so I suggest you do 10 minutes and only 10 minutes first thing in the morning. And no less than 10 minutes, but also really importantly, no more than 10 minutes. Because even if you're on a roll, stop yourself. Because if you write for 10 minutes and you're like, oh, this is great, I'll keep going. And you write for 20 minutes, the next day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh, I wrote for so long yesterday, I can skip today. And then you skip it the next day and the next day too, because a body in motion stays in motion, and when a body is not in motion, it stops. So yeah, 10 minutes in the morning, and what this does, it's important you do it in the morning because it wakes up your senses, and then you and your songwriter you can go about your business all day together. And I'm going to read a section from the book that talks about this. I think they put it much more eloquently than I do. It says, 2 beings inhabit your body. You, who stumbles groggily to the coffee pot to start another day, and the writer in you, who could remain blissfully asleep and unaware for days, months, even years as you go on about your business. If your writer is anything like mine, lazy, even slug is too kind. Always wake up your writer early so you can spend the day together. It's amazing the fun the 2 of you can have watching the world go by. Your writer will be active beside you, sniffing and tasting, snooping for metaphors. It's like writing all day without moving your fingers. If instead you waited until evening to wake your writer up, you'd float through the day alone, missing the wonderful worlds your writer sees. So, anyways, I highly recommend keeping a journal and doing 10 minutes every morning. I want to share with you guys a fun little bonus. I want to share with you guys a song that I wrote on the ukulele. And I'm going to tune this. It's tuned enough. So this is a song that I started a couple years ago. I don't love this angle. Is this better? There's a lot of sunlight here. There's no great angle. We'll mix it up. Okay. I started writing the song 2 years ago when I was at Burning Man, which is a pop-up community or gathering in Black Rock City in Nevada, and it is in the desert. It is a very strange alternate reality with a bunch of weird people. And I started weird, different, good, weird. And I started writing it out there, and I only knew that I had this little chord progression. And I had the chorus, but I didn't know the verses. And 2 years later, I tried to sit down and finish the song a bunch after I got back from Burning Man, and probably sat down at least 24 times to write it, and nothing came out. And then 2 years later, I went back to Burning Man, and I had an open mic night that was going to be happening at my camp that night, and so I wanted to finish the song for it. And so I was under a deadline. I was like, I gotta finish the song by tonight. I've been working on the song for too damn long. I gotta go finish it. And so I biked out into the middle of the desert, basically, and I put down my blanket and I sat down with my ukulele and I started playing, and the song just came right out. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of the lyrics. If you guys can't understand me, which happens because I don't think I pronounce things very well, I will either post lyrics so you guys can read it if you're interested, or maybe I'll just recite my poem right afterwards. So, this one is called Let the Dust, and it is an ode to the wind, because I think the wind is just the most beautiful, invisible magic power. It's always there, but you never notice it until it wants you to notice it, and then it is very omnipresent. Okay, it's called Let the Dust. I wake up and tear the ceiling fan down to my level. Pick on someone your own size, I'll make out from the rubble. It's the wind I can't stand, girl won't hold my hand, girl. I wish that it would die and land, but I let the dust, I let the dust die. Let it all just settle. Let the dust die. Let the dust die. Let it all just settle. I envy every dog in the wind. Its nose all turned up, its face in a grin, and every blade of grass dancing, all swaying together, but no one will tap me in. So I let the dust die, I let the dust die. Let it all just settle. Let the dust die, I let the dust die. Let it all just settle. Laundry slabs and a wood clothespin, soaking in the sunlight of my mother's garden. I'm in trouble now. To fall in love with something that can only let me down. So I let the dust, I let the dust die. Let it all just settle. Let the dust die, I let the dust die. Let it all just settle. Yes. Thank you for listening to my artwork. Yeah, I guess any final thoughts I have for you guys. Now is a great time to be creating, because I think we all got a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions. We're all trying to stay safe out there, and find delight in these hard times, and songwriting is a great way to do that. And I think songwriting, more than anything, is about us listening to ourselves. It feels really good for someone to just listen. And so being able to use songwriting as a tool to express yourself and be able to understand yourself is so helpful. So definitely recommend getting a notebook this is one that I collaged when I was like in some like when I was 12 maybe or something, but I still use it for some reason. Some reason I have not filled up this notebook yet. I'm getting there. But yeah, find a notebook wherever you can, and 10 minutes every morning. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, yeah. But just one funny thing about this song is how I wrote it in like 15 minutes, but it had been building up inside me, marinating within me for years and years. And isn't it cool to think about all the songs that you have inside you right now that are just waiting to come out? And anyways, I think about that all the time. If I something happens to me and I don't know what to write about at the time, I just remind myself that like it's all marinating and it will come out at the right time. But the right time happens way more often when you practice. One of my favorite quotes is, "Inspiration is for amateurs, the rest of us get to work." And that's why we do 10 pages every morning, 10 minutes every morning, and hope that eventually some of it sounds good. Yeah, that's all for now, but I look forward to our second creative songwriting class whenever you guys are ready for more. So happy writing. Also, if you guys come up with anything that you want to share with me, please do so. I think my Facebook is probably going to be like tagged or something. And I will also share with you guys my YouTube channel, and you guys can check out more of the songs I wrote. I do mainly electronic stuff, but I used to be a acoustic singer, songwriter, folk musician person. So I also have that kind of songwriting as well. Anyways, stay safe, keep creating. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye bye. I also got a friend. No, Fiona, come back to me, Fiona. I had a very small, cute dog visit me briefly. Out.
I'm falling out my pocket.